Yesterday, I have overcome a 10-year-old trauma of mine, just about 10 years. And what happened about 10 years ago, I've eaten a runny egg. Sunny side up, the yellow was a bit runny. And I got really, really sick. Probably salmonella, I don't know, 10 years ago. I was so sick. I'm not going to give you the details, but to put it this way, I was very, very sick for a while. It was so bad that I was completely traumatized, that for the next 10 years until yesterday, I was not willing to eat the slightest raw egg. Just the slightest, I would not touch it. I want that egg dead. I want that yellow cooked. I don't want to have one drop, or else I wouldn't eat it. I was so traumatized. It was so bad. And if ever I had an egg that I cut it and it was a little runny, I would put it back in the pan to cook it for another minute or two. Because that's what trauma does to you. You're traumatized. You can't fathom going through that painful experience again. And yesterday, like I said, it's been 10 years, and I thought to myself, well, I might suffer the same thing again. It might happen again. But I probably won't. Number one, that time, again, it was 10 years ago, I was in a different country. I was back in Orange County, California, and I've eaten, grocery store cheap eggs that were probably bad. And now I'm in Israel eating organic pasture-raised eggs, which are much better quality. And second, I thought, well, even if it did happen, I can't keep living in fear of something that might have happened because it happened once before, and be a slave to fear. I have to let it go. And I'm not that crazy about runny eggs anyway, so for me it was a no-brainer. Like, it's not something I love, not something that I really enjoy. It's kind of like, yeah. So I was completely content not having that in my life. Now, had it been something that I did love, I would probably have broken that trauma a long time ago. If it was a bad pizza per se, I probably would have had another pizza. And they always tell you that if you fall off your bicycle or rollerblades, I used to ride when I was young, you fall and scrape your knee, hurt your elbow, the most important thing is that you get right back on it right away and keep riding. You fall off your bicycle, get right back on them. Don't wait. The longer you wait, the deeper and the trauma will sit in your head. That trauma will take roots. And the chances of you ever getting back on that bicycle decrease. And that's how it was with me, 10 years, not eating a runny egg. The trauma was so strong, it just became something I don't do. And I've had people, they fall once and they just don't do it again. Now, the examples I've given you are very kind of small and insignificant, but the principle applies to every aspect of life. I've known women that had a bad experience with a man and they've never gotten back on that horse. Like, I'm done with men. Oh no man for me, I'm done. Happens all the time. Men the same way, they have a bad experience with a woman, they're like, I'm done. You can have all sorts of bad experiences. A man with a man, a man with a woman, child with a father, father with a child. Not to mention the religious world. You've had a bad rabbi that stole some money and you're done. A bad preacher that did some things on the side, you're done. And it's a very dangerous thing to do. And I get it because, you suffer. For a woman who was raped, you're not going to want to get intimate. It's going to be so hard for you. It's like just the touch alone, the trauma kicks in and it's like, get off of me. What did I do? I'm sorry, I'm just traumatized. This is real. this is real stuff. I'm not making this up. Everybody knows somebody who been through that. You've been touched the wrong way, you can't have people touch you. It happens. So what do you do about it? Because what most people do is what I did, which is not the best thing to do. I'm done. I'm just gonna avoid the thing completely. And listen, even that, the fact that I broke that fear after 10 years is a miracle. I was completely content of not eating a runny egg ever again. But the Lord loves us and He wants to heal us physically and spiritually. We have many wounds and many bruises and many different cuts, and one thing at a time. There's no rush. The Lord is not in a rush. He'll get to it eventually. He's going to force you to do the thing you don't want to do. It's like you do with your people when you heal them, right? You start with the small stuff, the easy stuff, and then you go to the bigger stuff. You're going to have to get uncomfortable because it's for your own good. Especially with things of significance, such as marital relations or your spiritual walk. I get it. There's all kinds of scams and cons and all kind of wicked people that would take advantage of you. All aspects of life, not just religion. Maybe it happened to you with a job, with a profession, with a restaurant. Bad sushi. I've known bad sushi. Now, I don't eat any more sushi really, just because I'm kind of over it and it's not worth it to me. But I've had some bad fish. It's bad. But then I had some good fish that wasn't bad. So it's all a matter of, is it worth the risk, right? But I would say that the best thing for you is to overcome trauma. Because trauma is a wound that does not heal until it does. And it takes effort. It doesn't heal on its own. You have to do something about it. You have to get back on the horse and see that it's not so bad. And by doing that, you always have to take the risk that it's going to happen again. And like I said, for some, as myself, I'm not willing to take that risk, right? There's all kind of songs. I'm never going to love again, right? Yeah, it's been such a horrible experience for you. But it's worth it. Because love is such a beautiful thing. It's such a powerful thing. It's the purpose of life to love. Particularly the love of God. And I understand that you might have had a bad rabbi or a bad preacher or a bad church or a bad synagogue or a bad whatever. But none of these things are a reflection of God. Those are men in their wickedness. The Lord is holy and righteous. He's not a preacher or a rabbi. He's the Lord Almighty who loves you. He's perfect, blameless, pure, innocent, holy. So don't throw God under the bus just because you had a bad religious experience. See, that's what my grandpa likes to pretend as if that's his excuse for rejection of God. Well, the rabbis, all they care about is money. They always lie. Every rabbi is a thief. I'm like, Grandpa, I follow the Torah. I'm not a thief. I'm not a liar. I'm not a deceiver. So your excuse is invalid. Yeah, well, you start. There's always an excuse, which comes to show you it's not the true reason. People would hide behind it. But I would dare you and encourage you to get back on the horse. You might have had a bad experience with a preacher or a teacher that used you to sell you some stuff and get your money. There's a whole lot of those people. But we're not asking for money. In fact, we don't even have our thing public that you could donate to us. We don't want money from people we do not know. And we do teach the truth. So why don't you listen to us? We're not asking for anything from you. We're just giving you pure information for your own benefit. We have nothing to gain from you. We're not here to get subscribers and monetize our videos. We don't care about how many views we got, and we don't get that many. And we're perfectly content because we're serving the Lord. We're not serving our own bank accounts. Not here to monetize. We're preaching the truth because we have a fear of God and we know that He will judge us, call us to account. How did we feed His sheep? So, yeah, we calculate our words and make sure that we preach and teach to the best of our knowledge and ability. So even if you had a bad experience before, you should get back on the horse and start listening to our teachings. You will be blessed because of it. If you apply what it says, as Yeshua said, anyone who hears these words of mine and do them, obey them, will be blessed. But if you hear and do not do, well, that doesn't apply. So don't worry about your trauma. What's done is done. Get that chutzpah, get that courage, get that strength and get back on the horse. And you might fall again, but who knows, maybe you won't. And it's going to be the best ride of your life and you're going to completely forget about that bad experience that happened to you 10, 20, 40 years ago. Trust in the Lord. Trust in love. And He will take care of you. Hallelujah.